Alright, so I'm doing this request for a buddy of mine. You know who you are. Let's go with C. You can figure it out from there. I'm not going to say anything else as I like to protect people's privacy. Meshuggah alive with the tagline, "In space, no one can hear you unless you scream." So you're wondering, what is Meshuggah? It comes from the Yiddish and Hebrew word for crazy, Meshuggah, if I'm not mistaken. The songs on here: Perpetual Black Second, Travis, Bleed, New Millennium Cyanide Christ, Stenga, The Mouth Licking What You've Bled, Electric Red, Rational Gaze, Lethargica, Combustion, Humiliative, and Straws Pulled at Random. Now, Meshuggah are a band that not too many people know about because 2002, their song "Soulburn" was featured on the episodes in which Ozzy Osbourne's son Jack blasted at full volume to no other neighbors. They were later invited to play at the Ozfest in 2002. They are of the technical groove thrash metal and djent later. So with their lyrical themes, you're wondering: futurism, consciousness, apocalypse, psychedelia, paradoxes, society, chaos. So that's a lot of stuff going on here. Now the vocalist has a voice that is, "You see the time grind to reveal the hidden words, the constant of parallel truth, giving them fragmentation." You got some screaming going on there, so it's certainly an interesting of the more extreme side. And you got the extreme side right on that one. Holy smokes. Okay, so Perpetual Black Second is get down-tuned guitars with a bass and a riff played. Vocals are screamed like what I just performed, but they sound kind of muted in a way. There's some in-between banter, black and white sound check, and preamble of like being on the road. Travis, which means depraved, wicked, evil, bad. Tremolo picking holds the word violate for 5 seconds, which is a great scream, and blue-red lighting. And the soloing here is based off of like jazz fusion or some of the more freeform avant-garde stylings out there, like Alan Holdsworth. Bleed, which features 100 miles per hour riff with a bit more technicality. There's a lot of blast beats in this one. And the middle section is a bass and the lights go down, and then there's a great guitar solo that goes on there. Ritual is getting ready. New Millennium Cyanide Christ. It's a melody. There's a lot of melody. A solo of Descending Chaos. Riffs play. The outage. Like I said, I'm just giving you a general brief overview of every single thing here. Stenga. Let's see here. Camera shows the stage. Definitely a technical song with groove. The vocals are like there's no verse chorus stuff going on here. The mouth licking what you bled. And there's solo heavy riffs. Super fast solo. Chaos all around. It's like seems to be a solo here and there. Then you get the in-between stuff. Drummer talks about pace, getting into the music. Bad show irritates them. Bands are not machines. They're going to have their ups and downs. Electric Red with stage banter. Got some killer riffs and groove going on here. Screaming with mid-pace composition. You get a bluesy type of solo. Yeah. Let's see. Rational Gaze, a bit slower but with more complex solo. The way how they, blah blah blah. Lyrically, it's about where we believe headlines but without reading between the lines. Lethargica, riffs with no 4/4 time. A bit slower with what is that? With harmonics / holding notes, and there's a split scream of the singer, like why, and then we have a slow, like to introduce like a slow crawling mass like this just giant abyss. That's what the lyrics seem to be. Combustion, a nice groovy intro. One of the singles from Obzen, Obscured Zen. A technical solo, and then it kind of like ascends, you know, kind of like that. Humiliative band has a it's more of a chugga chugga Iron Maiden type galloping riff. Very very high pitched solo, and Strauss pull at random to close it out. This was some good this is stuff that got influenced from Pantera, King Crimson, a little bit of Yes, and the Mahavishnu Orchestra, but mainly solo-wise, it was the Alan Holdsworth when he was solo. And I think maybe it was with Soft Machine, but mainly in the Mahavishnu Orchestra. This is highly complex stuff. It's like, yes, the drums can be at 4/4 times, but then you got stuff that's going on, like, what was it, 23/16 or something like that, where it's just so fast, and all the playing is like, not like or riffs or anything like that. It's this is stuff that just goes on all throughout their albums. Obzen, Destroy, Erase, Improve, Contradictions, Collapse, Catch 33, etc. This was a band that truly did break new ground because they combined, like I said, all the groove and the technicality of those bands that were mentioned, and they are from, where are they from? They are from Sweden, and yes, their first album came out, their demo, Ejaculation of Salvation, 1989. Contradiction Squares came out in 1989, 1991. To give you an idea of the lyrics, squint your eyes to see clearly, blur reality to make it real. Let focus go from receiving eyes to know what's been concealed. We've all been blinded, subjects to visual misinformation, a systematic denial of the crystalline. To see the fine grain, to read the hidden words, the context of parallel truth, devoid of fragmentation. Our light-induced image truth, filtered blank of its substance. As our eyes won't adhere to intuitive lines, everything examined, separated, one thing at a time, the harder we stare, the more complete the disintegration, dissolution. Eyes reopened. Reasoning focalized, receptors activated. Perspectives distorted, the ladder beyond our grasp. The twin-headed serpent forever hidden. Where's the true knowledge? Where engines of the sane and insanity merge, the clarity, the unity. Reality untouchable. Transparent, invisible to our fixed, restrictive fields of vision. Existence taken for granted, absolute. Possessed, owned, controlled by the common sense, infected, rational gaze. Onward forever, we walk among the ignorant, never stray from the common lines. Yeah, this is music that you would go to Berkeley for, Dream Theater-ish. Another one of the closest bands would be Gojira. And yeah, the performances here are freaking fantastic, but you gotta pay attention to it. You can't have it as background noise. You gotta be sitting down and watching it, you know, still having the lyrics in hand. Of course, there's like the band gets kind of real, showing that they're everyday, down to earth people, you know, talking with the fans and stuff like that. But it's like when you have the sections of going on, it's like, hey, here's band members talking in between the songs and how they travel from like Toronto to Japan and stuff like that. It's like, it just felt disorganized. I'm like, yeah, it's like, can we have the option just to have the performances and not have like the getting to know all the members of the band? It's like, I enjoy that, but just please, people, have an option just to separate them, because it kills the mood when a guy just wants a concert and be able to hear the music. So I gotta say, I don't like that, and maybe on like the first one or two songs, it takes a little bit for the vocals to warm up or whatever, and it's just, I don't know. For the first couple of songs, it felt like that the everything was kind of like had some DNR, but eventually everything sounds great, and it's like it's very loud. What's the word I'm looking for? Very loud. It's like, yeah. With the songs, it's like, yeah, you know, they may only be like 4 minutes, but there's a lot of stuff going on within this 4 minutes here. It's not just like that, or you can have something a little bit longer where there's still like time for them to breathe. So it's kind of like that, you know. They also have a, what is that, 23-minute long song called I, the letter, not this, so that'll probably never be performed live because they said, yeah, there's too many parts and there's too random, whatever. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on Meshuggah Alive. They also have the Obsidian Task that I may review, but yeah, for if you want something that's very extreme, where you can headbang but also take notes, pretend like that you're in Berkeley College of Music, Meshuggah Alive.